Well, hello, new week. It is the 6th of July, and I hope those of you who live here in America, in Los Angeles, and all around had an enjoyable 4th of July holiday. We thank you, Lord, for another wonderful day, another wonderful 4th of July, the 250-year anniversary of this great country that God has so richly blessed us with. Thank you for a great president who's doing a very excellent job, in my opinion. I believe that we are on the mend. A lot of good things are happening. And while we all don't agree about things, that's all right. That's why we have freedom of speech. But remember, folks, we have a republic we live in, a constitutional republic that is here by the people for, well, we the people. But we have to be a moral society to enjoy that, to live under God's rule, God's leadings. And, we have a very unique thing with this country. We need to appreciate that. So, mostly young people, you haven't been taught this. You maybe weren't taught it by your parents or in the school systems. But the enemy is trying to steal this country away from us. Let's not sit back and let him do it. Let's not be quiet and just pretend like nothing's wrong. That's the way enemies steal. They steal when you're tolerant, when you're complacent, when you don't make any moves, because they're loud and noisy. Well, we need to be loud and noisy. God has blessed us with a beautiful country, and we need to appreciate it. I appreciate it. Anyway, enough of lecture. On to the job. So we're working on our scene here, and we're doing cleanup and color. So we'll go on to our next pose here, and we'll ink it. We're working in rough animator, and we have our layer that we're working in right now is the color and cleanup layer, and I'm going to use a solid brush to clean up the line. So I'm going to grab, let's see, yeah, okay, so the line is going to be this color here. Go. I'm becoming more and more convinced that the more AI stuff we see, I think the more we're going to want to see human stuff. Because I think that what's happening is we've lost our sensitivity to what we as human beings can create. AI is here to stay, and that's fine. And I actually think that AI is pretty cool, to be honest. However, on the other side of that, I think it's important to not lose sight of what just creating something that's not completely 100% perfect as human is also very important, because really the stories we tell and the art we create, the things that we create, really honestly are human things that I think the only way you really get a benefit from something you create is that it has to connect with your audience. And in most cases, people are using AI to tell the stories, but the reality is um, the AI is good for what it's designed for, but it's not good for pure creation. And the reason that I believe that's true is because the AI doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have it operates based on information that it's given. And so, but being human, being able to um, contribute opinion, contribute life experience, those are the kinds of things that move us, really. So I think we have to remember that we need to come back to understanding that stories move us, you know, and so really you want to, um, you really want to experience something with a story, and you only do that through a human connection. You know, you don't get story through a mechanical, mathematical connection. You only get it through a human experience. So it's very important for us to remember that, I think. So you use the AI for what you can use it for. You know, it's not to say you don't use it. I think it just means you use it in the right place. That's all. And you use it for the right reasons. You let it do the thing that it's good at doing, right? You tell the stories, and then the AI can help you say finish a story. The AI can help you to um, finish an idea off. Maybe there's some things that you know would be difficult to finish without some help, and maybe AI is the best way to accomplish that. Yeah. So I would say that's where you would want to use the AI to accomplish the things that would be hard for you to do any other way. That's where you use the AI. You know. Besides, I would think that I mean, as an artist anyway, my opinion as an artist, I think I would certainly much rather not hand over all of the creativity to a computer to just make something for me. I want to be involved in that process. I want to be involved in what it takes to make something work. You know, I don't want to let the machine do it all. I want to do it. I want to contribute to what makes it tick, what makes it work. You know. Now maybe that's just me, but I think most creative people would agree that you do sort of want to have um, you want to be able to say something, you want to be able to communicate something, and that's what you're doing as an artist. So there you go. Let's see here. Go. Okay. All right. All right. So let me put the color in. Uh, so there we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. On to the next one. Let's see. I always make it bigger, so it's just smarter. Let's see. I have the brush set at 6 pixels. It looks a lot bigger just because I've magnified the image. So, you know, when you're cleaning something like this up, you might say, well, gosh, that line's awfully thick, but yeah, it's thick because I've zoomed in on it. So when you're looking at it in real time, it's not going to be as thick looking. So that's right on that one. And I flip back and forth between having the line on top and having it on the bottom. So it's kind of hard to know which. So if you had a left-handed um, tool that you could use that would um, allow you to shift back and forth between having the line be on top and having it be on the bottom, with say with your left hand, I suppose that's a tool that could be useful. I don't know. Maybe it could be. Maybe it's not such a great idea. I don't know. I guess I'd have to have it to try it and see whether how well it would work. But it sounds like a good idea. It's just giving my left hand something to do. So I don't know whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. Sounds kind of odd. Like, you gotta give my left hand something to do. Yeah, is that right? Okay. What I'm talking about is having on the left side here, we have a little thing that says on the bottom here, right here. So you draw behind or draw on top. Um, Obviously, there's times when you want to draw behind the line. Um, well, what I was suggesting was that having the function to say whether you're on the top of the line or on the bottom of it. Have it be something that you can operate with your left hand. In that case, I'm being right-handed. Um, I'd operate it that with my left hand, but I don't know whether or not that would even be workable for me because there's some things that are, um, I don't know that my left hand would feel. I mean, I'd probably have to train my left hand to do it. I don't know. That's a hard. That's a hard one just to. I'd have to try it. I mean, it's fine the way it is. Maybe a non-issue. Because in animation, we got in the traditional sense, we all got used to using both hands. You'd use one hand to flip the drawings, and you'd use the other hand to draw. So one hand was on the page to draw, and the other hand was on the pages to flip them. And it was kind of a simultaneous act. You flip with one hand, and then you draw with the other. And they kind of went together. Um, you know, those of you who work traditionally in animation know what I'm talking about. Most of the young folks today wouldn't know because you've all learned to animate digitally, where you didn't really have to do that. Yeah. Okay. It's great when you remember the colors. Oh, let's see. So this is where I want to make sure I put the color in the eyes. But say, oh, you know what though? See, yeah, see this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do the eye color this way, so that the color doesn't spill out of the eyes. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, we're scooting through here, scooting through. Not quite at the halfway point yet. I would say maybe by the end of the week we're going to be at the halfway point, and then it might take at least another week before we get all the color on this scene done. So we'll see. All right, folks. Well, another beautiful day's gone by. Another video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Don't forget to thank God for your talents and gifts. And remember, Jesus is Lord.